Woo! Woo! Did your boy have a day today? Your boy had a day today. Oh my God. Wow. First day back to work. Kind of chaotic. Almost got in a little bit of trouble, but everything worked out well. Your boy's good. But man, it's going to get rocky in there. Maybe I'll explain it one day. But right now we got some things to do. I'm gonna do a graph trade for you guys. I haven't been on in a couple days. Sorry about that. Just taking care of some stuff, getting back to work, preparing myself mentally. That's what I have to do for myself, and it helps me most of the time. But I'm gonna do some draft grades today, and I'm gonna do the Las Vegas Raiders. It was a request too. All my grades are requests, so I'm going to do the Raiders for you today. They had the 12th overall pick, the Las Vegas Raiders, and I got to make sure to call them Las Vegas Raiders because I will forget. So I'm going to repeat that a few times. Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, they had the 12th overall pick, and they took Henry Ruggs, the wide receiver out of Alabama. About 6 foot, 195, another dynamo kid. From that Alabama wide receiver core, that wide receiver core was absolutely sickening. Crazy good. I gave this kid a first round grade, obviously. He was the first wide receiver taken off the board, which I was a little bit shocked. But it's a total Raider pick. You know what I mean? Speed kills. Fastest kid in the draft. I think he ran a 4.27 40. Straight line is incredible. Stretches the field like no other wide receiver in college football. Ball tracking skills and body control is top notch. Everything you're looking for in a wide receiver in that one. The explosive at all levels, and then he's got a lot of underrated. He's very underrated in the power department when he has the ball in his hands. Slips tackles. He's very good in space. He's a phenomenal football player. He's Tyreek Hill 2.0, in my opinion. Kid is phenomenal. But, it comes with a little bit of negativity. Just a bit. He had a really limited route tree at Alabama. He was more line. He was more straight line, speed guy. Go get the ball, score. Big chunks. He just needs to really learn the game. And I'm sure he will. If all he needs to do is watch a lot of tape of Tyreek Hill, because I think he's almost a carbon copy of that kid. He's a really good football player. 98 catches, over 1,700 plus yards, 17.5 yards per catch, and 24 touchdowns in 3 years at Bama. That was a pretty good pick by the Raiders there, the Las Vegas Raiders. And yeah, I really like that pick. It's a solid pick. Surprised that he was the first wide receiver taken off the board, but I understand the process behind it, because he's so fast, and he's got great hands too. Great hands. Just needs to work on his route running, and that just comes from being in the NFL, and he'll learn that. So that was the first round pick, and they're still in the first, and they took Damon Arnette, the cornerback out of Ohio State University. 6 foot, 195, 200 pound kid. I gave this kid a late first, early round second. It was a good pick by the Raiders there, with really good speed, really physical. He's excellent in the run support. He will not shy away from contact. He's going to come at you and just try to light you up. So you love that in any corner. You love a physical corner. He did draw a lot of flags in college with being a bit panicky, grabby, handsy. I'm always seeming to repeat myself with guys like that, but like when you watch the tape, you just see stuff like that, right? It kind of stands out, but all in all, he's a really good corner. He just needs to work on his technique, man. He had 140 tackles, 5 interceptions, and 22 pass breakups in 4 years. He's a good corner. He'll probably end up starting. And yeah, that was a good pick. Now they go on to the third pick, the third round, and this is a kid that I really liked in the draft coming out. Lynn Bowden Jr. Out of Kentucky. Now, this kid played everywhere. in college. This kid was a quarterback, wide receiver, running back. He returned punts, he returned kicks, he did it all. In my mind, he's probably one of the most versatile college football players that I've seen in a long, long time. The kid just did everything. Really, really good offensive weapon. He's gadgety though. He is going to be a gadget player, and I don't really know where Vegas is going to play him. I'm thinking they're going to play him probably as a running back. I think he's best suited there because his running ability is off the charts, insane, really good, really good. Like I said, he did it all. He's raw though. He's raw as a he's probably more raw as a wide receiver than he would be as a running back. Like this kid can even back up a quarterback if he has to. This kid is he'll probably be third string because they picked up Mariota, so he'll probably be third string emergency / quarterback over there in Vegas. So it was a good pick, man. But this kid had crazy numbers. Okay, listen to his numbers. His catching. Okay, he had 114 catches. Over 1,300 yards and 6 touchdowns in 3 years. That's not too crazy, right? It's good, but not too crazy. This is what blew me out of the water. He had 1,500 plus rushing yards and 13 touchdowns in 2019 at only 185 rushing attempts. That's nuts. That is insane. And I think he did that while he was under center, while he played the quarterback position. That's how crazy that is. So the kid, I keep reading that I've seen a couple sites where they have him actually listed backing up Josh Jacobs, the running back for the Raiders. So he's probably going to play running back. He's definitely going to be on special teams. He's going to be an emergency quarterback, an emergency wide receiver. Great gadget player, really good pick. It was a Vegas pick, like an old L. Davis pick, if I will, you know what I mean? And I really liked the pick. I was really high on this kid. Because I just think he's dynamic with the football in his hands. So that was a good pick in the 3rd round by the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. Then we go on to still round three, and they took another wide receiver, Brian Edwards, a wide receiver out of South Carolina, 6'3", 215 plus. I gave this kid about a 4th round grade, maybe even 5th. But he's got great size and strength, big catch radius. He's long, he's got long arms. So he's good with the ball in his hands too. He's very creative for a guy his size. So he's good with the yards after the catch, and he loves the block. He's a kid that loves to hit, and you do worship that as an offensive guy on a team like Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is going to love him in the run game. So you really like to see stuff like that. And then he did have a meniscus injury that kind of hampered him last year, and he needs to work a little bit on his 50-50 balls. I noticed on tape with that he was going up for balls, and he'd actually lose a lot of battles, especially against more physical corners. But that comes with time too. He just needs to be a little more physical. He has the tools, so I can see him being pretty good there, eventually down the road. But he was really, really productive. 234 catches, over 3,045 yards receiving, 13 yards per catch, and 22 touchdowns in 4 years at South Carolina. So he's very productive. I like that pick. Then they still were in the 3rd again, and they took Tanner Muse, the linebacker out of Clemson. 6'2", 227. Had a blazing 4.41 speed at his size. That's really good. That's really solid, and that's faster than some corners in the draft this year. And he was a safety at Clemson. He's a starting safety for 3 years at Clemson. He's just a really energy guy. He's jacked up, and he loves to hit big. Like, he's a big hitter. He's probably going to play linebacker in Vegas. They're probably going to switch him over to linebacker because I've kind of seen him on some depth charts where they have him at linebacker. And he just needs to work a little bit on his pass coverage and not crazy athletic. And he was at Clemson for 5 years, so I think he was redshirted his freshman year, so he didn't see the field, and then he went 4 years. So he's a 24-year-old rookie. That's kind of old. That's not old, but it's, you know what I mean. It's older in football years. So he'll probably come in, compete, might even win a spot right away at linebacker, but definitely will play a lot of special teams just to try to get his ability up. You know what I mean? That's all. That was a pretty good pick by them. Then the next pick, they stayed in Clemson again in the 4th round, and they took John Simpson, the offensive guard out of Clemson. This was a really good pick. I was really impressed with this pick. This was my number 2 guard on my personal grade coming out. I really like this guy coming out. I was kind of hoping the Lions were going to take this guy, to be honest with you, but he went to the Raiders instead. He's massive. He's at 6'4", 330 plus. Massive. He's just a mauler in the run game, and he's a nasty guard who gets to the second level and completely dominates. He just looks for people to kill, and you love that. His pass protection is solid, but it needs a little bit of work. He can get beat by quicker guys inside, and he just needs to work on his balance a little bit. And he gets off balance sometimes because he's massive, so he needs to work on that anchor. He needs to work on those legs, and he needs to get those hips low. And he'll be a good guard for years to come. I really liked him coming out of school. So that was the 4th round. Then I think they had one more pick. Yeah, because I made a couple. Yeah, they had one more pick, and they took in the 4th round again. They took Amari Robinson, cornerback out of Louisiana Tech. 5'9", 185, man, Mighty Mouse. I gave this kid a 3rd, 4th round grade. I really liked him, but he's little. He is little. He's physical for a little guy, man. Extremely physical. He attacks and loves to play the run. Great ball skills and hits very hard. Hits very hard for a little guy, man. He's probably going to play some slot to start off in the NFL, and probably eventually, when he hones his skills, he'll probably get to play a little bit outside on an island. He's very aggressive, like I said, though, and he'll tend to miss tackles. So that's really the only negative thing about him, that he gets a little bit too aggressive, and then he tries to throw his body out at guys and just misses them. But that's, again, you get into an NFL training camp and you just work on your discipline, and things will work out fine. He had 138 tackles, 23 for loss, 14 interceptions, 3 touchdowns defensively, and 2 forced fumbles and 2 fumble recoveries. That's in 3 years at Louisiana Tech. So the 14 picks was what really stood out, man. Kid's a total playmaker. He's going to be a good one, I think, for them. I don't think his size is going to deter him on anything. So I'm really liking that pick by the Raiders. So that was really it, man. That's all they really did. They must have made a few moves because they didn't have any picks in the 5th, 6th, or 7th. And I gave him a B+. I thought it was a really good draft. I thought it was a really solid draft for Gruden and Mayock. They totally went after speed. It looks like they dug deep down inside and just tried to get speed for Carr on offense, especially with the Ruggs pick. And then taking Lynn Bowden, and even Brian Edwards. Not the fastest guy in the world, but it's another wide receiver for Carr. And it seems like they're dedicated to Carr, pretty much. He's going to be their quarterback as of now. And yeah, I really like the pick. I really like the draft too. So I'm going to give him a solid B+. So there you have it, boys and girls. I got the Raiders down there for you guys, and got a couple more left. I got some Lions news coming up. Hopefully, it's been kind of slow in Lions land. There's not much really going on, guys. I'm gonna come up with a few ideas. I might come up with a couple ideas. I got some mulling in my head there. I'm gonna come up with maybe some versus this player versus this player. Who's gonna break out? I'm gonna do some other stuff too. I'm trying to get acclimated back to work, and yeah, it was a rough day today, but your boy's going to make it. He's going to survive. And yeah, I had fun. So I'm going to come at you guys with some more stuff, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. But just stay tuned, guys, and be safe out there. Bam.